How are you all doing on this Sunday night? Because it's night now. Yes, it is night. Today's topic, the topic at hand is about credit card debt. Mm, mm, mm. Credit card debt. It gets all of us at some point in time. Yes, it does. At some point in time, it gets all of us. Whew. It can be overwhelming. Credit card debt can be overwhelming to where sometimes you have to decide, am I going to pay this credit card bill or am I going to buy grocery? And 9 times out of 10, the grocery going, well, the grocery is going to win. The grocery is going to win. We have got to tackle our credit card debt. Our credit card debt is, we're drowning and drowning and drowning in credit card debt. Oh my gosh. When it comes to credit cards, that is like, oh my gosh, you got credit card debt too? You got credit card debt? You got credit card debt? Whoo. And we can have a whole huge conversation about credit card debt. Because guess what? We've either been there, we're currently there, or we're currently coming out of credit card debt. And then some of us, we just say, forget it. Forget it. Because I know many times I said, forget those credit cards. Forget those credit cards. Because even if the payment is $25, I don't know and what I noticed about some cards, they all have different amounts. So even if your payment, $25 may not seem like a lot for credit card payment, but when you're trying to decide if you're going to fill your tank up with that $25 or if you're going to use that $25 for your credit card bill, you're going to put that $25 in your tank so you can get to work or wherever you have to go. And yes, this debt is just, it's crazy how much credit card debt. But guess what? We can find our way out of credit card debt. We can find our way out of credit card debt, and it's so easy. It's easier than we think to get out of credit card debt. It's not as hard as we think it is. It really isn't. The most important thing that we need to have is a plan. If you are in credit card debt, if you're there, don't worry. Don't worry. I know you're like, don't worry. What do you mean, don't worry? I have all this credit card debt. That's fine. We all have some kind of debt. But we have to have a plan. How we're going to get out? How we're going to get out of all this debt that we have? Guess what? I have a plan for us, for you, for myself, for all of us. I have a great plan to help us get out of credit card debt. And that plan is, number one, gather all of your credit card bills up. All of your bills, like these aren't credit card bills, but just for example. And gather all your credit card bills up. Open each one of your bills. And if you don't receive your bills in the mail, some people have theirs where they don't get them in the mail. I gotta get mine in the mail because I gotta remember that I owe them. And if I don't remember that I owe them, that means I won't pay them because I'll forget. And then I'll get a late fee. And I don't want to get a late fee because I don't want to give those people my money, okay? Because they're getting enough of my money, okay? So the thing is, the most important thing is, if you have credit card debt, the first thing you want to do is gather all of your credit card bills. Get you a notebook. I love to write. I'm going to write it down in a notebook. I know I can put it on my phone in notes or whatever. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get me a notebook. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to get me a notebook, and I might have some stuff written in here. As a matter of fact, I do. Like here, I wrote down all the people that I owe, and then let me see, what did I put? I put the amount, the due date, the interest rate, and the payment. I put How much I owe? You probably can't. Okay, I put everybody I owe. I put the amount. Then I put the due date, the interest rate, and the payment amount. So I wrote all mine down. I don't owe all these now, but I did. I did. I wasn't up right now, okay? But the thing is, I like to write everything down in a notebook. So I write my stuff down. That way I can grab my notebook and I can be like, oh, okay, all right, so I owe Burlington. Okay, how much I owe them? Okay, and it's due on this date. Get you a notebook. If you don't have a notebook, go to $1.25 store and get you a notebook. So that way you can physically see what you owe. You got it all written down. And what I do, I take, I write everything down that I owe, everybody I owe. Then how much I owe, just like you saw right there. So I take the smallest amount, whatever my smallest credit card total is, I take that and I start working towards paying that off. And then I go from the smallest and I work my way to the largest because the money, and then once I pay off, say if I owe Capital One $400. So the payment I was making on them, I take that payment and then I double up on whatever the next bill is, that's the next lowest to the lowest. And then as I'm steady working it down, then if I get any extra money, guess what? I put it towards that next lowest one and then just work my way down, because what we don't realize that if you just paying the minimum, the $25, $30, $40, or whatever it might be, it tell you how long it's gonna take you to pay it out, and it's gonna take a long time. And just think about how much money of your hard-earned dollars are you giving the credit card people? It's like no, because if you look on your statement, I wish I had my statement in front of me. If you look, and some people don't even read their statements. Some people have no idea what's on their statement because they don't read them. They just pay the bill. They just pay the bill. No, open your statements. Read your credit card statements. Some people have no idea what the interest rate is. Open your bill. Read your bill. Read your bill because you want to know if they. And then another thing, the credit card people, they will reduce your credit limit. And guess what? You won't even know because you don't pay attention to your bill. Or if they send something in the mail, you see it's Capital One Bank. You like, oh, okay, that's just Capital One. Open all of your credit card bills, all of them. If they don't come in the mail, go online. Go online and read from the top all the way to the bottom. What is your interest rate? How much is your monthly payment? How much do you owe them? Read all of this because I'm telling you, that's how they are making so much money from us because we're not reading. We are not reading our statements, and it is a must that we read our credit card bills because you'll have, say, disability coverage on your credit card. You won't even know. You be like, well, when did I put? What? Wait, why is this being charged? When you decide to finally look, well, it's been on there for 2 years. You never look because you just say, oh, I know my minimum payment is $25. My minimum payment is $50. You never look. I'm telling you, that's how they get us. Because when you don't read, guess what? And they know 9 times out of 10, the consumer is not going to read. They know this. It's been studied that we're not gonna read. We're just gonna say, okay, oh Capital One, okay, $25. Make sure I pay them. We have got to start reading our statements. That is a must that we start reading our statements. So what you need to do is what my suggestion is for you to do. All of your whatever your credit card bills are, get those bills. If they come in the mail, get them. Open each one of them. See how much you owe each one. Start with the smallest one. The smallest one. I don't care if you owe them $100. If you're not able to pay that $100 off next month, then come up with a plan to get that 100 paid. Because the faster that you're able to pay that $100 off, then you can move to the next one and to the next one to the next. Because think about it. Say if you have 5 credit cards, just for example, if you have 5 credit cards and you one might be 25, one might be 40, one might be 30, one might be 60, whatever they might be. If you have 5 and you add all of those up, do you see how much you're paying every month? You're not paying this off. You're just paying this towards what they say that you need to pay them. So it's so important to get out of debt. It is so important to get out of debt with these credit cards because and then the saddest part to me with the credit card companies, you'll be with them for however long you're with them, right? And they'll check your credit. They'll run your credit to see how you're paying your bills, not just with them, but with whomever your creditors are. And if you owe your other creditors, however much you might owe each one, that credit card, Synchrony Bank is they're they're notorious for doing this. Notorious for lowering your credit limit. Just say if your limit is $1,000 on a Sam's card, and you owe, just say you it's your balance is 1,000, you owe $925. Well, they will reduce your limit to $925, which was going to hurt your credit. That's going to hurt your credit because it's like, okay, you owe your limit. And they are notorious for doing that, Synchrony Bank. And it's like, really? Like, wow. Yes. So if you want to have more money, come up with a plan. The plan that I do, that I have been doing for a very, very, very long time, I get me a notebook just like this from the $1.25 store, and I write all my bills down up in here. I I love to write up in these notebooks. Okay, my cousin used to always say, "You write everything down in a notebook." I know, cause if it's 10 years from now, I'll probably have this notebook, and I'll be able to go back and look. Oh, on this day, I wrote this. I wrote that. I was highly in debt on this day in this year. But yeah, so this is what I do. I just write down everybody that I owe, and the amount, the due date, the interest rate, and how much the payment is. I This is what I do. I prefer doing it this way, the old school way, quote unquote, the old fashioned way, because I can just pick this up anytime and just if it's a year from now, I'll still have this notebook. And I'll just look at them and be like, wow, I was really in debt. Wow. Well, I had 10 credit cards. Okay, now I'm down to 5. Okay, that's a start. But we have got to get out of credit card debt. It is a must that we get out of credit card debt. And I know sometimes we can't help it. We use those cards because if our money's low, we're like, oh, I got this credit card. I got this credit card. I use this credit card. And that's fine if if you're able to pay that credit card off the next month. If you're able to pay it off the next month, hey, you need to charge it, use it. But if you know that you're not able to pay that credit card off next month, don't use it. Don't don't charge more than you know you can pay off when the bill due. If you know you can't pay $500 when that bill's due, don't charge $500. Cause you know what? It's gonna take you forever to pay out $500, making a minimum payment of $25. Yeah, it'll be some of them I see. It might be 5 years on $500, paying $25, and it's just crazy. It was really really crazy. So we have got to figure out a way that suits you to get out of credit card debt because we're working to pay credit card debt on stuff that we probably don't even have anymore. Yeah, we probably don't even have anymore. 9 times out of ten, we don't have it. We don't even know where it's at. We have no idea where it's at. So we have got to do better with our debt, because if you're like me, getting older at 53 and getting older, I don't want to be no 60, a 65, or even 55-year old in debt, credit card debt. No debt, really. Just basic debt, monthly, and maybe one or two other things. But yeah, we don't think about it. It's like, oh, I'll just make the minimum payment. No, no. We got to stop making a minimum payment. Because if you look at your interest rate on your cards, some of them are like 30% interest rate. Some interest rate are like 35%. 35% on a credit card. And it's like, wow. But they do it because they know people are going to charge on their credit cards. They know that without a shadow of a doubt. So they like, yeah, you approve, because they know you gonna charge. They know that. So I want us to do better with our debt, our credit card debt. And if you just go by what I suggest, getting your notebook and writing down everybody that you owe. When that bill come in that mail, open all of your credit card bills. Every last one of them. I know you don't want to see how much you owe. I know you don't. I know you don't want to sit there and literally go through line by line by line. But guess what? It's in your best interest that you do that. Because if you don't do that, you're giving away your money. You're giving away your money. So, in order for you to save money, you have got to start looking at your credit card bills. Because I remember one time I don't remember which credit card it was, and I think it didn't sign me up for, either I signed me up or they signed me up. I don't remember how it went. And just so happened one day, that's, well, let me look at my bill. Let me look at my statement. Because I was like that too. I'll just make the payment. I knew what the payment was. And so I was like, why is that? It was some kind of insurance. I was like, why is that on my bill? And I looked, y'all, it had been on my statement. I had been paying for this like 6 months before I realized. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And I had to call, and once I realized it, and they removed it. And I was like, just imagine if I never looked at my credit card statement. I would be paying it month after month after month after month. So y'all, it's crazy to me how the credit card companies, how they do us as consumers. It's really crazy. But they wouldn't be able to do that to us if we would not, if we would be, if we would be better stewards over our credit cards. Meaning, charge what you know you can pay off. Charge what you know you can pay off. If you know you can't pay it off, don't charge it. Don't charge it. Or you want to charge something, fill your cart with gas. You'll be able to pay that off. Just little things until you can work your way up to where you're able to afford to go and buy you a refrigerator, and next month you'll be able to pay it off or whatever it might be. But yeah, we got to get out of credit card debt. We have got to get out of credit card debt. And the best way to get out of credit card debt that I have found is to start with your lowest amount that you owe and work your way down. Work your way down from lowest all the way down to the highest amount. And when you pay off that first credit card, however much that you pay every month, if it's $25 on Capital One and that's your lowest that you owe them 400, and you finally get them paid off, you take that $25 and then you add that to the next card. So if you're paying $25 on your second card, Well, now you're paying 50 because you done paid off that capital one, and now you're moving to the next one. So each time you pay off, you add, that'll be 25. Then you pay that second one off, that's another 25. That's 50. Now you're working on your third card. So that's $50 plus whatever your minimum payment is on that third card. And before you know it, those cars will be gone. They will be gone. And it'll happen so quick because now you're in a system. You have a system set up to where you're getting this debt paid off. And as you see the debt being paid off and gone, it's going to make you like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I already did. I paid off Capital One. Now I'm paying off Chase, whomever it might be. And it motivates you. It motivates you to say, I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to be in debt. I want to be able to have free that money up because with the price of grocery, we need all our money. We need all our money with the price of grocery, the price of everything, really. So we have to get out of debt. We have to want to get out of debt. We have to have a plan to get out of debt. Because see, many of us we don't have a plan. And then I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I never was taught about finances. I never was taught about this." Okay, yeah, majority of us wasn't taught. You ready to learn? If you're ready to learn, we can learn this thing. We can learn this thing together. Yes, getting out of debt will be the one of the most important things you can do is not being in debt because when you owe all that money out, you just feel so weighted. You feel weighted down. It feel like you're drowning. Like you just can't see your way. I remember when I had all that credit card debt. And I was just like, I just felt like, what have I gotten myself into by having all of this credit card debt? How did this happen? And it's like it happened easily. We've all been there. We've all been there. And it's just like, wow, because you'll charge and you'll say, oh, okay, well, I only charge $50. I'll pay that out. Next thing you know, you'll go somewhere, you'll charge. Your money might be low. Oh, I'll charge you. I'll pay it off. I'll pay it off. And then something else come up. You're not able to pay it off. And now guess what? You owe you owe however much you owe on that credit card. So we have got to get out of credit card debt and so we could just live a fruitful, happy, non debt free life. That's the goal, to live a debt free life from credit cards. Because we're gonna have all those other bills. But when it comes to credit cards, we don't have to have those. If you have one or two, three max, and they're good cards, sure. But all the cards that we have, we don't need all those cards. No, store cards, Macy's and all of them, oh my gosh. I would recommend don't even get those. The interest rate on those store cards are crazy. Crazy. So I would recommend not to get those. If you have a couple good cards, bank credit cards, I would say use those, but use them wisely. And if you're not in debt or you only owe a small amount on your credit cards, good job. And if you could hurry up and pay those off, good job. Good job. Because we want to be debt free. Because the way things are going, yeah. Yeah. So the takeaway for tonight is get your notebook. Get your notebook. Right. And you know what? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to write your debt down. Don't be afraid. A lot of people is afraid or ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Hey, we made the bills. We need to face the bills. And I believe by writing them down in a notebook where you can see them every single day, You're facing it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We all been in debt. We all been in debt. Some of us still in debt. We never got out of debt. Some of us was in debt. We got bad credit from being in debt. Our credit got right. Now we back in debt and possibly the credit about to go bad again. You know, but we got to make better choices. We got to make better choices with our finances when it comes to credit cards. They're a great tool to have. Great tool to have. But we have to use them wisely and we have to be smart when we are using them. And if we cannot pay them off next month when that statement comes and we done charged all this stuff in March and we know that that bill gonna come due for April or May or whenever it might be, we might need to roll that back a little bit. Cause a lot of stuff that we charge, if you get your credit card statement out. I want you to go down your credit card statement and just look at all the stuff that you charge. All the stuff that you charge. You're gonna be like, when did I buy that? Why about I didn't even need that? I had two of those already. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We don't need that stuff. We do not need it. We just be wanting it. We wanna be in debt. We wanna be in debt for real. We want to be in debt because we don't even need that stuff. And then they say, oh, Belk has a sale. Belk has a sale. Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna buy one thing or two things because it's 40 or 50% off. No, that's a trick. That's a trick to get you there. And once you get there, they know, you're going to buy more than one or two things. That's my phone is dying. But yeah, they know that. They know, hi, how you doing? They know that you are going to buy more than one or two things when you get to their store. So the takeaway for tonight is get your notebook, or if you don't want to write it down in a notebook, however you keep your notes on your phone or wherever it might be, then that's fine. But get your credit card bills out. Open each one of them. Lay each one of them out so you can see. Go through each one. See how much you owe. What is your interest rate? What is your monthly payment on each one? And look at what all you've charged. Just go through the list and see what you charged. And then I think in the middle section it'll tell you how much you owe, and it'll say if you make your regular monthly payments of say $25, you will be the. I think it'll tell you how much you will pay being unpaid in 3 years or 5 years, however many it might be. It'll tell you right in that middle section. Look at that. If you look at that and you see if you owe, just say if you owe $1,000 right now, and your minimum payment is $25, it will tell you. It will take if you just pay your minimum payment of $25 for the next 5 years, you will have paid whatever it is that it say. Look, read your credit card statements. Read your statements. I cannot express that enough. Read your credit card statements because that way you will know that you need to get this stuff paid off some kind of way. And when you get extra money, put it towards your credit cards. Put it towards your credit cards because you want to get out of debt. You want to live a life of richness, fullness, and debt free from credit cards. From credit cards. We are drowning. We are drowning in credit card debt. It's unbelievable. The numbers when it comes to credit card debt, we're drowning. We don't even have a life raft. We don't. We don't even have a life raft. We're drowning. Literally drowning. But the takeaway for tonight is get your notebook or keep your notes somewhere. Gather all your credit card bills. And if they're online, That's fine too. Go to each one, and wherever you're going to keep your notes at, write who it is, how much you owe, what is your interest rate, and look in that middle box. Put that down. If you owe $1,000 and your minimum payment is $25, put down how long it's gonna take you. If you paid it $25, it's gonna tell you. If you 5 years, it's gonna be you're gonna be pay about $3,000 or whatever it might be. So check all that out. Gather all that. Get your credit cards out. Read your statement. Read your statement. I can't stress that enough. Read your credit card bills. Read your statements because they could be charging you for something you don't even know. You have no idea because you don't read. Read your statements, okay? So today is Sunday. I think I'm going to start doing this once a week with, trying to get us on track with our finances. Okay, so I thank you all for coming. Thank you all for joining. Remember, get those credit card statements out, read them, write down how much you owe, what is your interest rate, what is your due date, and what is your minimum payment. And look in that middle section and see how long it will take you and how much it's going to be. It will be just making your minimum payment. And we'll be back. All right. Thank y'all for joining. Have an amazing, amazing Sunday evening. Take care. Bye.